While silence may seem like a safe choice, it can sometimes become a dangerous weapon. In a world where injustice and conflict thrive due to inaction, choosing silence is not just avoiding an argument. It's a decision that often supports oppression and wrongdoing. Think about it. When was the last time you stayed silent when it really mattered? Perhaps in class, when your friend was being mocked, and you chose to remain quiet to avoid drawing attention to yourself. Or at a family dinner, when your relatives discussed topics that contradicted your beliefs, and you simply sat in silence, fearing conflict. That silence not only protected your comfort, it made you complicit. Today we will discuss 5 situations where silence is not just a poor choice, but a betrayal of your principles. These moments require courage, clarity, and action, qualities that can change the course of events. Before we dive into the topic, please hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss new videos that will open up new perspectives and opportunities for personal growth. Ready to explore the power of your voice and change the world around you? Let's embark on this journey together. Number 1. When injustice is happening. Injustice is not just a word. It is a poison that seeps into every crevice of our society. It spreads like a dark cloud, obscuring the light of justice, trust, and dignity. Remaining silent in the face of injustice is not neutrality. It is a conscious choice to allow this poison to spread. Imagine witnessing your close friend, a talented and hard-working individual, being targeted. They are blamed for failing to deliver an important project, while the real reason lies in a lack of resources and support from the team. You see them being criticized in front of everyone, and your fear of conflict, fear of consequences, holds you back. In that moment, your silence is not just inaction, it is an endorsement of what is happening. It is a betrayal not only of your friend, but also of your own moral principles. According to Stoic philosophy, justice is not merely a virtue but a duty. As Marcus Aurelius said, "What is not good for the hive is not good for the bee." When we allow injustice to continue unchecked, we harm not only others, but ourselves. Every time you choose silence, you give space for that injustice to grow, and the burden of guilt for your inaction can linger for a long time. Now, imagine another scenario. You are at a gathering with friends, and one of them makes a derogatory comment about people with disabilities. The room falls silent. You feel the pressure of conformity weighing down on you. Knowing that speaking up could spark conflict, you decide to stay quiet. But in that moment, your silence only reinforces the harmful stereotypes you despise. This seemingly small moment can either strengthen negative attitudes or challenge them. Your voice could be the spark for change, inspiring others to reflect and possibly alter their views. These situations require courage from us. It is not about grand gestures. It is important to show bravery in the little things. Speaking up at a meeting, supporting a colleague who is facing unjust criticism, or simply refusing to ignore a harmful comment. These small but significant actions create an atmosphere where justice can prevail. True courage is not the absence of fear, but the readiness to act despite it. The next time you encounter injustice, ask yourself, is my comfort more important than someone else's dignity? Is my fear of conflict worth more than standing up for what is right? The answers to these questions may lead you to a path of honesty and courage. Standing against injustice not only shapes our character, but also strengthens the bonds within our communities. People remember those who bravely stand for the truth, even when it is difficult. Your courage can become an example for others. Every act of defiance, no matter how small, illuminates the way for change, creating a collective force for good. Silence will never bring about true peace. Genuine peace emerges from justice and accountability. Speaking out against injustice is not merely a courageous act, it is an expression of our shared humanity. In a world where darkness can easily take root, even the smallest light has the power to drive it away. You do not have to change the world with one sweeping gesture, but every time you choose to speak up, you contribute to creating a brighter and fairer world for everyone. Let us harness the power of our voices and take a stand, knowing that every small act of bravery can create waves of change that resonate far beyond our immediate surroundings. Your decision to speak up could be the beginning of something great. Number 2. When your boundaries are being crossed. Boundaries are not just lines in the sand. They are the foundation on which all our relationships are built. They define where your comfort ends and someone else's interference begins. When someone crosses these boundaries, it's not just an inconvenience. It's a troubling signal that your dignity and needs are not being taken seriously. Imagine this scenario. You're at work, and your colleague constantly asks you to take on their responsibilities. At first, you do this out of a desire to help, thinking it's temporary. But over time, their requests become more frequent, and you realize that your workday is turning into their personal assistance. Every time you agree, you value your time and effort less. Your boundaries gradually blur, and you start to feel exhausted and undervalued. Eventually, there comes a moment when you realize enough is enough. You decide to talk to your colleague. You explain that maintaining a balance in your work is important and that you are willing to help, but not at the expense of your own responsibilities. This is not an easy conversation, and they may react defensively. However, this openness shows that you respect both yourself and them, and your interaction can become healthier. This situation illustrates an important truth. Ignoring your own boundaries can lead to burnout and dissatisfaction. When we allow others to thoughtlessly cross our boundaries, we not only jeopardize our principles, but also undermine the very foundation of trust. Boundaries are not barriers, they are essential conditions for healthy relationships. It's crucial to understand how you communicate your boundaries. Share your feelings openly and honestly, but do so with kindness. Explain why certain behaviors affect you and suggest alternatives. This approach not only helps avoid unnecessary conflicts, but also fosters deeper understanding between you and your conversational partner. Every time you defend your boundaries, you send a clear message. You value yourself and expect others to do the same. As Marcus Aurelius said, the strength of character is revealed in how we respond to difficulties. Instead of falling into bitterness or avoiding confrontation, act with confidence and respect for yourself. This not only protects your well-being, but also helps build healthier, more respectful relationships where trust and understanding can truly flourish. Remember, boundaries are not walls, but bridges that help establish deeper connections. When you openly communicate your boundaries, you not only protect yourself, but also create space for authentic communication and mutual understanding. Number 3. When honesty is needed to uphold integrity. Honesty is not just a virtue, it is the foundation upon which trust and understanding are built. In our world, full of compromises and grey areas, it can sometimes be easier to turn a blind eye to the truth than to face it head-on. But it is precisely in those moments when staying silent seems simpler that honesty becomes especially important. Imagine you're at a gathering with friends, and one of them tells a story in which, in your opinion, he is distorting the facts. This isn't just a minor exaggeration. He is taking credit for achievements that were actually the result of teamwork. You feel discomfort rising within you. On one hand, you want to maintain the friendly atmosphere, but on the other, you realize that silence could lead to misunderstandings and even conflicts in the future. Deciding that honesty is more important, you muster the courage to say, I appreciate your story, but I would like to clarify that we all worked on this project together and each of us contributed. In that moment, you are not just speaking the truth. You are also showing that you respect not only your friends, but the essence of collaboration itself. It may create awkwardness, but ultimately, you set a standard for open communication. Your friends may be surprised at first, but as a result, they will start to approach their words more thoughtfully. In such situations, honesty is not merely a call for truth. It is an act of respect for yourself and others. When we allow ourselves to be honest, we create space for authentic relationships. How often do we withhold the truth out of fear of offending or causing trouble? Yet, experience shows that it is honesty that strengthens bonds. When people know they can trust each other, it lays a solid foundation for communication. Think back to a situation at work when your colleague consistently takes credit for others' achievements. You observe this happening and might think, "It's not my business." But at some point you realize that it affects team spirit. You decide to talk to him privately, explaining how important it is for everyone to receive recognition for their work. This may create tension, but your openness not only fosters honesty, but also improves the team's atmosphere. Honesty is not cruelty or a desire to humiliate others. It is a path to clarity and understanding. By speaking the truth, you set standards for yourself and those around you. You show that you value your integrity and expect the same from others. Every word you speak becomes a step toward healthier and more open relationships. In a world where it is so easy to evade the truth, your courage to speak openly can inspire those around you. When you choose honesty, you not only protect your principles, but also allow others to see that being sincere is acceptable. Each time you act with honesty, you create an environment where trust can thrive and deceit loses its power. So, the next time you encounter a situation where the truth may be uncomfortable, remember, your voice has power. Speak openly, and let your honesty be the foundation for authenticity and integrity in both your relationships and your inner world. Number 4. When a mistake needs correction. Mistakes are a part of human nature, but it's important to remember that if left unaddressed, they can grow into serious problems. Like small cracks in a foundation, they may seem insignificant, but over time, they can undermine the entire structure. Correcting a mistake is not about finding fault. It's about caring for integrity and trust in relationships. Imagine you're working on an important project with a team. At one stage, someone makes a serious error in calculations. You notice it, but the anxiety over your colleague's potential reactions makes you stay silent. Inside, you feel conflicted. On one hand, you want to maintain a friendly atmosphere. On the other, you understand that silence could lead to catastrophic consequences. At this moment, it's crucial to find your courage. You decide to say, "I noticed there's a mistake in the calculations, and if we don't correct it, it could affect the entire project." Your honesty may create tension, but it also opens the door for constructive discussion. Instead of arguing, the team comes together to find a solution. This isn't just about correcting a mistake. It's about strengthening connections and trust. Being honest about mistakes is not an act of aggression. It's a display of respect. When you address the issue, you show that you care about the outcome and the team. This creates an atmosphere where mistakes are seen as opportunities for growth rather than reasons for criticism. Correcting mistakes is not just a duty, it's an opportunity for development and strengthening trust. As one wise person said, "Courage is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to act in spite of it." Your desire to correct a mistake shows that you value truth and quality of work. Every time you address an issue, you become an example for others. You demonstrate that openness and honesty are more important than temporary harmony. By creating such an environment, you contribute not only to your own development, but also to the growth of the entire team. Remember, correcting mistakes is not a sign of weakness, but a step toward excellence. You are not only protecting the project, you are shaping a culture where mistakes are viewed as part of the learning process. By speaking out about what's wrong, you not only preserve integrity, but also open new horizons for improvement. So the next time you encounter a mistake, don't hesitate to speak up. Your voice matters. By correcting mistakes, you are not just safeguarding the current situation, you are building a future based on trust, respect, and mutual understanding. Number 5. When your knowledge can help others. Knowledge is not just the accumulation of information or skills, it is a powerful tool that can change lives. Each of us encounters moments when our knowledge can become a light in someone else's dark tunnel. Opening your mouth and sharing your experience means not only supporting another person, but also affirming your own humanity. Imagine your friend is going through a tough time at work. He doesn't know how to cope with the pressure and stress and feels lost. You remember how you went through similar trials when your own career was on the brink. You know what steps helped you navigate that situation, and you understand that silence could only worsen his suffering. One day, you decide to approach him and say, "I notice that you look down. I've been in a similar situation, and I can share how I managed to cope. Maybe it will help." This simple phrase opens the doors for a discussion that your friend desperately needs. He starts sharing his feelings, and in turn, you offer your advice and support. Together, you explore possible solutions, and in this process, your friend not only finds comfort, but also new strategies to overcome his challenges. It's important to remember that your experience is not just your story. It is a treasure that can be passed on to others. When you share your knowledge, you are not just helping, you are creating a support network that can change lives. For example, in your community, there is a group of people struggling with addiction. You have gone through that struggle yourself and know how difficult it can be to find a way out. By sharing your story at group meetings, you not only inspire others, but also reinforce your own position, reminding yourself of how far you've come. A key point here is humility and the willingness to listen. You don't know the whole truth about someone else's experiences, and your knowledge is not universal, but your desire to help and your willingness to be there is what truly matters. A phrase like, "I don't know how you feel, but I'm here if you want to talk," can become the start of an important dialogue. Your knowledge can be a lifeline for those drowning in their struggles. When you share it, you not only support others, but also create an atmosphere of trust and openness. Remember, your story is not just a personal victory, it is an opportunity for others to see that they are not alone. When you act in the way taught by the Stoics, focusing on what you can control, you open new horizons for yourself and for those around you. You cannot erase another person's pain, but you can offer them hope and support. By doing this, you strengthen not only your relationships, but also create a culture where knowledge becomes a force for the common good. So next time you feel that your knowledge can help someone, don't hesitate to share it. Every word, every action can change someone's life for the better. Your experience is not just information, it is an opportunity for growth, both for you and for those around you. Thank you for watching our video on the 5 situations where silence can do more harm than good. We hope these examples have inspired you to engage in open conversations and take action in your life. Share your thoughts on this topic in the comments. Have you ever faced situations where you chose not to remain silent? We'd love to hear your perspective. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and share it with your friends. Your likes and shares help us create more valuable content. We wish you courage and confidence in expressing your thoughts and feelings. Remember, your opinion matters. Until next time.